Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at each individual life path forecast for the month of April 2023. Before we get into the forecast, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading where we'll take a deep dive into your own numerology, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at April real quick. So April 2023 is a 2 universal cycle. And what that means is that universally, collectively, we will all be feeling the influences of this 2 energy. So what this could bring about is the need for balance, things coming to the surface that are out of balance, whether that's body, mind, spirit, or with relationships, things that have just felt out of alignment, coming to the surface for review to bring back into alignment at this time, or at least start that process, right? This energy is also asking us to become the observer, to stand back and really not get too emotionally invested in a situation that we don't need to be emotionally invested in, but rather take a step back, take a look through a broader lens and see, are we thinking too rigidly about something? Are we overly invested in something? Are we overextending ourselves in a situation that we don't need to be? Or again, are we overly involved in a situation that we don't need to be, which is therefore leading to resentment or frustration or stagnate, whatever, right? Whatever being overly involved or being too immersed in the situation, if it's causing imbalance, then again, this is going to be a month where standing back, being the observer, seeing things from a broader lens will benefit us. This energy will also ask us to be more decisive and discerning in who we choose to invest our energy into, what that looks like, what we will compromise with, and again, making decisions. So there may be events this month collectively where things come in and we need to make a quick decision, and it doesn't really necessarily give us time to second guess ourselves or to weigh the pros and cons. We have to trust our own internal guidance system and the information that we have that's presented to us and make a decision. And then once we make that decision, we have to give ourselves grace to understand that in that moment, that was what we needed for ourselves. And so again, deal with the consequences as they come up from that decision. Maybe make different decisions moving forward if you need to, but don't beat yourself up about it, right? Trust yourself and trust that the decision that you make in that moment is what is best for you in that moment, right? And all involved. This can also be about channeling charged emotions. So the 2 energy can sometimes bring intense emotions or deep emotions, so to kind of be moved through. So it can be a charged energy, right? And so you might find that you're easily triggered over something, or that you feel deep emotions about something. This is a month where emotions could be coming in very strongly. And so sit with them, move through them, work with them, honor them, but be mindful of how you express them, right? If you become overly agitated or overly aggressive or something like that over a situation, that's going to influence, if you're not in control of those emotions and that charged energy, that's going to potentially dictate whether you react or you respond to the situation, right? Which then will dictate the experience that follows. So this month is really asking us to get in more awareness when it comes to our emotions, and as well as how we want to work with those emotions and that charged energy, because emotions are life, right? We are feeling beings. We are meant to feel emotions. It's what we do with those emotions that makes the difference, that creates the experience. So this 2 energy coming in collectively is really going to be asking us to take a closer look at that and take responsibility for how we express those emotions, right? Not meant to avoid them, not meant to suppress them, none of that. We are emotive beings. We are meant to feel. So, but again, it's in the expression that makes the difference and that determines the experience. And so this month could bring up some things that might trigger us, that might force us to look at the emotions that sort of are more in control of us. so that we can get a greater handle on that and work with that energy, that charged energy, and channel it into something positive. This can also be a very highly sensitive month where things that might not have affected us in the past are a little bit more quick to bring about some kind of reaction, right? Or response. And so just pay attention to what's yours, what's not yours, because again, it's a highly sensitive period. And so we could be picking up on things emotionally or get a sense for things that affect our mood that may not even be ours to carry. And so just keep in mind that it is a highly sensitive period. So don't get too attached to what you're feeling, especially if it's not yours, right? And again, relationships could come into the focus this month. So mending or healing of relationships that are still meant to be a part of the journey. New connections coming in. So new soulmate connections, friends, family, pets type thing could definitely be coming in this month. And these are often relationships that are serving a greater purpose. So some kind of soul contract coming in potentially to assist us on our journey. So pay attention to the people that you meet, or again, the pets that come into your life at this time. We could uncover a new way of relating to others that serves us better and serves others better, right? So a new way of looking at relationships and how we relate to others could absolutely be coming in collectively this month. So again, pay attention to those people that come into your life or the people that resurface in your life and what they're trying to show you. What is their divinity trying to teach you, right? Through their own wisdom and through what they trigger within you type thing, or what they bring you that's beautiful, right? And so how we can learn to accept that beauty as well. That's a big part of relating as well. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at each individual life path number now for the month of April. Life path 4. So I pulled an animal wisdom message for us and we got pig energy. And so it's actually very much aligned with the energy that we're working with this month. So I'm not surprised, but it's very much about family, about looking out for one another, about maybe needing to nurture others at this time, more people needing our time, energy, resources, or we may need more nurturing this month. And so we just need to ask for that, right? And set those healthy boundaries. And if someone comes and asks us for something that we're not able to give at this time, we need to be very honest about that, because we're not serving anyone. If we're like, oh yeah, I'll do it, but you don't have the capability of doing it, then that's sort of underserving yourself and others, right? Setting everybody up for failure. So it actually is very, it's more of a higher octave to say, no, I'm sorry, I just can't do it this month. And you don't even need to give an explanation. That is the explanation. So boundaries will probably come into play throughout April. So just make sure that you're being very honest with yourself. Am I able to do this? Body, mind, spirit. Am I there? Do I feel, is my cup full before I start, showing up for everybody else? And so just make sure that that's in balance, right? The giving, the receiving, just make sure that there's some balance there. There's also this energy of like strong stability coming in, right? So with pig energy. So very much like you think about pigs and sometimes they root. And so there's something about being very grounded, very rooted in the earth. So this is not necessarily going to be a time to take big risks, taking those risks that could, have big stakes. This is not necessarily the time for that. This is going to be a time for getting rooted in what you've already built or created type thing, and then enjoying that, taking some time to really enjoy that and sharing that. But yeah, not a big time for taking those big risks. Now, this can also be a time with pig coming through where you feel very abundant, or you see a lot of abundance coming through, or success. Again, whatever success means for you. That could be spending time with your family, or going on vacation, having the resources to go on vacation, having the resources to buy the house, or whatever. You could see that come in this month where there's a shift in your resources or something like that, but it's helping you to get very stable, right? Or you could see a shift in your home situation that might feel chaotic or might feel that you don't have your footing, but it's leading you to that. So be open to that as well. So you might have to make some shifts this month, but what it's leading you towards is that more solid stability. And you may find that people come in this month that are helping you to achieve that stability as well. Now for fours, the month of April, of course, is a 6 energy. So we've got the collective energy of the 2, and then fours have the energy of the 6 that we're working with. So very much relationships. This can very much bring in new partnerships, the soul kind of partnership. So significant others, deep friendships, right? Like people who are very much aligned with your frequency, where you're at on your journey, coming in to assist and to share that experience with you. You could also see things come up around the home environment. So this is what I say, like there could be some changes, right? You could change directions, move locations, change homes. And it might feel a little bit chaotic when you're in it, but where it's leading you to is much more solid, right? Like if there's a change in the home that feels again, like it's sort of uprooting you, chances are it needed to happen, right? Whether it was like something that you were sort of fighting and didn't want to happen because it's throwing you outside of your comfort zone or whatever. If in April it comes in and you know, like your lease suddenly runs out, or the person's going to sell your apartment or your house or what, I don't know, whatever, right? Something comes up that sort of forces you to move. Instead of fighting that, sort of move with it and just know that it's moving you towards something much more stable. You could also see some things just shift in finances to do with the home. So you might start working from home. You might get some kind of an increase, or your partner might get some kind of pay increase that affects the home and the resources of the home. Things could get busy for you in your day-to-day routines, in, again, like your work, in you might get more clients. That's very possible with 6 energy as well. So again, like relating to people, your community, you might get more involved within your community. That's also possible as well. But all of this sort of bringing structure, stability, groundedness to your life. So if you feel like things have kind of been a little bit chaotic, again, you know, something might come in to help shift you, and that can still feel chaotic. But I think you'll probably feel a little bit more grounded this month, because last month for you, I think it probably was a 5. So it probably would have felt a lot more shifty, things moving, things changing, new clarity that's forcing you to make decisions type things. The 6 energy can feel a little bit more stable, more grounded. So, but, you know, probably still some decisions and choices to be made with that. This can be a great time for getting a new pet, or things can come up with your pet to do with finances as well. So maybe more vet visits or something like that. Or again, maybe you adopt a pet, start working with pets. Same thing with children. This can be a time to, if you get pregnant, or if your partner gets pregnant, having a child, talking about having a child, adoption, any of those things kind of can come up under a 6 energy. But the big one, I think, for us too, is going to be setting those healthy boundaries. Don't overextend yourself. Know when to say no, know when to say yes, based on how it feels and where you're at, right? So beautiful energy this month. I think it'll feel a little bit more grounding than maybe last month did. So I hope it is a beautiful April for you fours. I'll be right there with you, and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.